Hello, welcome to Gus McDowell's Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. Today, we're playing Sonalyst Combat Systems Fleet Command, an operational level naval combat simulator. Please remember to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And if you want to show your support with a donation, the links are in the description. In this campaign, The Tiger's Tail, we look at a series of fictional naval clashes between America and India in the alternate 1990s world of Fleet Command. Today, a special treat for loyal viewers. In the last scenario, Bay of Bengal, a single US carrier battle group faced off against the entire Indian Navy, along with a squadron of Chinese bombers and a squadron of Russian bombers. On one side of the battle was a fraction of a Tier 1 Navy, consisting of a single aircraft carrier and embarked air group, 2 Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruisers, and 2 Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, with 2 submarines and support that did very little. On the other side was an entire Tier 2 Navy, with an aircraft carrier and embarked aircraft, surface ships, 3 submarines, 1 squadron of land-based fighters, and 2 squadrons of long-range bombers from China and Russia. The Americans started the battle at a significant disadvantage, ambushed from 3 directions with no aircraft airborne due to an aviation safety stand-down. Nonetheless, the result was a resounding victory for the US carrier battle group, which utterly destroyed the entire Indian naval and air forces opposing it, including their airbase, for the loss of only 1 aircraft, a Hornet, that hit the ground. This victory seemed so one-sided, so much so that it got me thinking, was it even possible for the Indian side to win the battle, or at least do better? So I performed the famous Kobayashi Maru maneuver. And today I present you The Empire Strikes Back, in which I will play exactly the same scenario with exactly the same forces, but as the Indian Navy. Let me know in the comments below whether you think the Indian Navy and its allies can win. In this scenario, The Empire Strikes Back, the Indian Navy must protect a peacekeeping force being sent to stabilise the deteriorating security situation in Sri Lanka. Mission tasking. Tasking message. A breakdown in the Sri Lankan security situation risks the safety of resident Indian citizens. India has mobilised amphibious peacekeeping forces and deployed the INS Viraat in the Gulf of Mannar. India's Axis of Resistance partners, Russia and China, have each sent a bomber squadron in support. The hegemonic Americans have decided to intervene in a regional matter of no concern to them. Recent US defeats of the Indian Navy have damaged national pride. We need a win. Get the peacekeepers to Sri Lanka safely, no matter what. Before we kick off the mission, allow me to brief you on my strategy for this very special military operation. First, the enemy. The Americans have a number of advantages we must defeat. The first is range. In most cases, their missiles just have longer range. The Phoenix long-range air-to-air missile and the AIM-120 AMRAAM on the Tomcats have much longer range than the R550 Magic on the Sea Harrier or Sepakat HAL. And the SM-2 surface-to-air missile has longer range than the Sea Eagle air-to-surface missile used by India, or the C-802 ASM or Yingji YJ-81, a modified Exocet type, used by the Chinese H-6D Xi'an bombers. This means they can engage Indian aircraft and ships before those aircraft and ships can launch their own attacks. But not the AS-4 Kitchen anti-shipping missiles used by the Russian Tupolev Tu-22M backfire bombers. So, I will defeat the American advantage by staying out of range where possible and using the Tupolevs as a primary strike platform. The second American advantage is the Aegis radar system. This radar system allows the Americans to engage multiple targets at the same time. By contrast, Indian ships can only fire 1 surface-to-air missile at a time. This means Indian ships are vulnerable to being overwhelmed by missile salvos. So, I will only engage defensively at short range and defend Indian ships using cooperative engagements from multiple fire units. The third American advantage is electronic warfare, in other words, the ability to jam Indian radar. I do not have this capability, but I can target their jamming aircraft. Next, friendly forces. These are the forces at my disposal. Our Russian and Chinese partners in the Axis of Resistance are not helping us for charity purposes. Anticipating a major conflict in the not-too-distant future, the Russians want to test their equipment against a live American enemy, while maintaining full deniability. They have donated a squadron of Tupolev Tu-22M backfire bombers. The Chinese have expressed an interest in the Sri Lankan port of Trincomalee after peace is restored. Not sure why. And they have a score to settle, something about an embassy in Belgrade. So they have donated a squadron of H-60 Xi'an maritime strike bombers. The Russian and Chinese squadrons have been incorporated into the Indian Air Force, with new flags on their aircraft and new uniforms for their crew. Finally, the strategy. I will use a combined strategy: move, protect and strike. The main effort for the Indians is to move the peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka. Once the force lodges and establishes a beachhead, it will push south as far as necessary to stabilise the situation in Sri Lanka and protect Indian citizens, including the Indian citizens living in the very far south of the country. Protecting the peacekeeping force is the Indian Navy. The Indian surface fleet is overmatched by American ships and aircraft. Its job is to maintain contact with the carrier battle group as long as possible while withdrawing north, feeding targeting information to the strike component. Unfortunately, I expect the surface fleet to take heavy casualties. The Il-38 maritime patrol aircraft will take over this task from the surface fleet and maintain radar contact with the Americans. And other Il-38 will hunt US submarines thought to be operating in the Laccadives. In addition, the Sepakat HAL squadron will provide combat air patrols, one for the airbase, the other for the amphibious peacekeeping force. Finally, the strike forces. There are 3 of these. First, the Indian submarines will wait in ambush and attempt to strike the carrier or any other surface vessels with torpedoes. Second, the Russian Tupolev Tu-22M backfire bombers will launch from the airbase. Rather than individually launching a small number of missiles in periodic salvos, the entire squadron will consolidate in a holding position northwest of the airbase. Then strike at the carrier with all their missiles at once to overwhelm American defences. With the carrier sunk, they will land and cycle and repeat the attack on the other American ships. Third, ever since the US bombing of the Chinese embassy in Serbia during the Yugoslav War, the Chinese have been waiting for an opportunity to return the compliment. The H-60 Xi'an maritime bombers do not carry land strike munitions, but they do have guns. So, the remaining H-60 bombers will fly down the west coast of Sri Lanka, cross the coast, and accidentally, but repeatedly, strafe a building that they absolutely did not know was the American embassy. I wonder, how will this play out? Let's find out.
Updated tasking message received.
This is the area of operations in the Laccadive Sea, south of India. It is 0200 hours, a starry night with light low-level cloud cover. To the south is the Indian Ocean. To the north is India and the state of Tamil Nadu. To the east, the coast of Sri Lanka, with the Gulf of Mannar to the north. Let's examine friendly forces and enable ship labels. This is the airbase that is hosting the strike squadrons. It is protected by 5 surface-to-air missile sites. Off the coast and heading east is the amphibious group. INS Shakti AOR-57 is a Deepak-class auxiliary oiler replenishment. She carries 8 enhanced Sea Sparrow missile surface-to-air missiles and cannon for self-defense, along with the landing force's supplies. INS Charag PCFG-97 is an OSA-2 class vessel. She is armed with 4 SSN-2 Styx surface-to-surface missiles and cannon. Next, INS Magar LST-20. Operated by India as a Magar-class landing ship tank, she is 357 feet in length with a beam of 57 feet and maximum speed of 20 knots. Sensors include visual and surface ESM. She has cannon for self-defense and carries half the peacekeeping force and equipment. Finally, INS Gharial LST, another Magar-class LST. She carries the other half of the peacekeeping force and equipment. This force must reach Sri Lanka. Covering the amphibious force is the Indian Carrier Battle Group. First, INS Godavari FFG-20. Operated by India as a Godavari-class guided missile frigate, she is 385 feet in length with a beam of 42 feet and maximum speed of 27 knots. Sensors include medium-frequency active sonar, active intercept, surface ESM, visual, ship-air radar medium range, ship-surface radar medium range, and fire-control radar. She carries 6 A244 torpedoes, 4 SSN-2 Styx surface-to-surface missiles, 20 SAN-4 Gecko surface-to-air missiles, guns, and cannon. Next, INS Runner DDG-52. Operated by India as a Rajput-class guided missile destroyer, she is 439 feet in length with a beam of 47 feet and maximum speed of 35 knots. Sensors include medium-frequency active sonar, active intercept, surface ESM, visual, ship-air radar medium range, ship-surface radar medium range, and fire-control radar. She carries 32 SAN-1 Goa surface-to-air missiles, 5 53cm torpedoes, 4 SSN-2 Styx surface-to-surface missiles, guns, and cannon. Finally, INS Viraat CV-22. Operated by India as a Hermes-class aircraft carrier, she is 584 feet in length with a beam of 92 feet and maximum speed of 28 knots. Sensors modelled in the game include medium-frequency active sonar, active intercept, surface ESM, visual, ship-air radar medium range, ship-surface radar medium range, and fire-control radar. She carries 36 Sea Dart surface-to-air missiles and cannon. Viraat's air group consists of one squadron of 12 FA-2 Sea Harriers, capable of anti-surface warfare, anti-air warfare and strike missions, three HAS 5x6 Sea King helicopters, capable of anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface warfare missions, and 4 KA-27 Helix helicopters, capable of anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare and anti-air warfare missions. Providing airborne maritime surveillance is an Il-38 maritime patrol aircraft. Operated by India as a maritime patrol aircraft, the Il-38 has a maximum speed of 400 knots, maximum altitude of 30,000 feet, and a range of 4,400 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar long range, aircraft ESM medium range, magnetic anomaly detection, passive sonobuoy, and active sonobuoy. The Il-38 carries 4 53cm torpedoes and depth charges. Picketing the US fleet is a Seppercat HAL. Operated by India as a fighter attack aircraft, the Seppercat has a maximum speed of 900 knots, maximum altitude of 35,000 feet, and range of 1,600 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar short range, and aircraft ESM medium range. The Seppercat carries 1 Sea Eagle anti-shipping missile, 2 R550 Magic air-to-air missiles, and guns. To the south is a B-6 Badger. Operated by China as an H-6D Xi'an electronic reconnaissance aircraft, it has a maximum speed of 600 knots, maximum altitude of 42,000 feet, and a range of 3,500 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar long range, and aircraft ESM medium range. The Xi'an carries 2 C-802 anti-shipping missiles, also known as the Yingji YJ-81, a modified Exocet type anti-shipping missile, and guns. Also shadowing the US fleet is the INS Vijay Durg FSG-71. Operated by India as a Durg-class guided missile frigate, she is 181 feet in length with a beam of 36 feet and maximum speed of 33 knots. Sensors include surface ESM, visual, ship-air radar short range, ship-surface radar short range, and fire control radar. She carries 20 SAN-4 Gecko surface-to-air missiles, 6 SSN-9 Siren surface-to-surface missiles, guns, and cannon. And the INS Prachand PCFG-90. Operated by India as an OSA-2 class patrol craft, she is 102 feet in length with a beam of 19 feet and maximum speed of 37 knots. Sensors include visual, ship surface radar medium range, and fire control radar. She carries 4 SSN-2 Styx surface-to-surface missiles and cannon. Lurking beneath the waves is the INS Kusura SS-20. Operated by India as a Foxtrot-class submarine, she is 279 feet in length with a beam of 28 feet, maximum speed of 18 knots and maximum depth of 984 feet. Sensors include medium-frequency active sonar, active intercept, high-frequency passive sonar, surface ESM, visual, and ship surface radar short range. She carries 16 53cm torpedoes. Also lurking is the INS Sindhu-Ghosh SSK-55. Operated by India as a Kilo-class conventionally powered submarine, she is 217 feet in length with a beam of 27 feet, maximum speed of 17 knots, and maximum depth of 789 feet. Sensors include medium-frequency active sonar, active intercept, high-frequency passive sonar, surface ESM, visual, and ship surface radar short range. She carries 18 53cm torpedoes. Next, INS Veer FSG-40. Operated by India as a Veer-class guided missile frigate, she is 171 feet in length with a beam of 35 feet and maximum speed of 36 knots. Sensors include surface ESM, visual, ship-air radar short range, ship surface radar short range, and fire control radar. She carries 4 SSN-22 Sunburn surface-to-surface missiles, 4 SAN-5 Grail surface-to-air missiles, guns, and cannon. Also, INS Sindhu Durg FSG-72, another Durg-class guided missile frigate. INS Prabal PCFG-93, another OSA-2 class patrol craft. INS Host Durg FSG-73, another Durg-class guided missile frigate. Another Xi'an H-60 maritime strike aircraft. And the mighty Tupolev Tu-22M backfire. Operated by Russia as a maritime strike bomber, it has a maximum speed of 1200 knots, maximum altitude of 60,000 feet, and range of 2,500 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar long range, and aircraft ESM medium range. The backfire carries 3 AS-4 Kitchen anti-shipping missiles. Next, enemy forces. 2 radar contacts on the Sri Lankan coast. And 5 ships in classic naval formation. Civilian vessels do not form groups like this. The one in the centre is almost certainly an aircraft carrier. Well, that is the mission, the various forces, and current situation. In the next episode, the US Carrier Battle Group will try to stop the Indian peacekeeping force from reaching Sri Lanka, and the Indian Navy and Air Force will try to stop the Carrier Battle Group. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.